And before we proceed to page 101, let's look at some nouns ending in, it says ER, OR, and AR, but add UR, and what's the missing letter? IR. Every vowel is A, E, I, O, U, and R. If you add any of these ending after the end of a verb, this happens. Nouns ending in ER, but it could be, as I said, A, E, I, O, U, doesn't matter. This ending is the most common. ER is the most common. It's usually added to verbs to make nouns with the meaning a person or thing that does something. For example, builder, farmer, sprinkler, or beeper. So build, that's a verb, you add ER. So builder is a person who builds. Same thing, farm, that's a verb. It could be a noun, but we're considering it as a verb. On the verb farm, you add ER. So it becomes farmer. It's a person who farms. Now sprinkle, that's a verb. It already has E at the end, so you don't need to add additional E. You just need to add R. So it's gonna be sprinkler. Now usually sprinkler is a thing that does sprinkle. So usually sprinkler is a water sprinkler. It sprinkles water. You use it on the lawn. Or it could be in the ceiling for the fire. Now beep, that's a verb again. You add ER, so it becomes a beeper. It was really popular device before the cell phone. Got really cheap and popular. So that's a beeper. And most of the time, yes, ER is the most common type. So you could see there are more forms. What? Skyscraper, now that's a building. Two-wheeler, now okay, that's a car. Double-decker, that's a bus. Another ER, foreigner, prisoner, jeweler, lawyer, treasurer. All these ER and OR. OR, accelerator, counselor. So OR is the next common form. But also you can see all these different types. Actor, counselor, investor. And there's AR, IR, and UR. So you could, you don't need to know all these words because these words are very hard. But I'm just giving you an example. And let's go to the subject-verb agreement. We've been doing this since the first lesson. So subject-verb agreement. Do you remember what those were? So let's take a look at this first sentence. My dog always growls at the postal carrier. Let's make it bigger so you guys could all read. So my dog, that's the subject. Subject is anything in front of the verb. That's the verb, growl. That's the verb. So anything in front is the subject. Anything after the verb, you call it predicate. But you don't really need to know. Just you need to find the verb. Anything comes before is the subject. So my dog, that's the verb. Always, that's an adverb. We don't consider it. The subject's gonna be noun. Always a noun. So dog is the subject, and it's only one. It's a singular subject. And if you're going to use the present tense form, you have to make it into third person singular. The subject and the verb, they have to match. They have to agree. And always you have to add S or ES for third person singular. Basketballs roll. So there's S, so this is a plural subject. So you don't need S. The basketball roll across the floor. Now, I don't understand. Now there's two verbs, do and understand. Always, the first verb is the helping verb. When there are two or more verbs in a sentence like this, the first one is always the helping. The second one is the main verb. So the understand is the main. I do not understand. I don't understand. And what's the helping verb's function? You're going to make it into negative sentence. Not. That's why we brought not. I don't. And the rule is after the helping verb, the main verb has to be the original form, the base form. It does not take any S or ES, no third person. These clothes. Now, cloth, it's a singular. ES, it's a plural. That's why you said these clothes are, not is. Clothes are too small for me. Because the clothes are plural, you need these. These clothes are too small. Peter doesn't like vegetables. Again, two verbs. So do, this is the helping verb. Like is the main verb. And we are using do to make this a negative sentence. So after a helping verb, you have to have the regular form or the original form. Peter doesn't like vegetables. If you're not going to make this into a negative sentence, Peter likes vegetables. So we only have to worry about the subject-verb agreement in present tense form only. So compound subjects, that means there are two subjects, sugar and flour. There are two. So it's are. Sugar and flour are needed. So we're considering this as two. Sometimes it's tricky. Some people could say sugar and flour as together as one. Then they will say sugar and flour is. So it just really depends. So we're not gonna go, here's a good example. See, corned beef and cabbage is a traditional meal in Ireland. So this is a usage. Corned beef and cabbage is like we consider this as one. They're together all the time. That's why we use verb is here. Just like the creator and producer is. It says both refer to same person. So this is confusing, but you don't have to focus on this. You can use either or. They'll understand. Now, this is kind of hard. Let's do these later. Let's do on the singular indefinite pronouns. When you see each, body, this means one, singular. Each gets, somebody will pay, anybody is, something is, everybody enjoys, nothing has. Anything, thing. You see, thing. Body, it's just one body, it's just one thing. So we consider these as singular. These singular indefinite pronouns, these are pronouns. But it's singular pronouns. It's indefinite pronouns. You don't have to know this term. What you have to know is, if you see any of these words, that it's a singular subject. So you need to use the correct verb, singular verb form. Now here's a plural, indefinite pronouns. So when you see these, both, many, few, several, some, most, for both, many, few, and several. Always, these are plural indefinite pronouns. It's a plural indefinite pronouns. You don't have to know this term. But when you see both, many, few, and several, you have to use the plural verb form. Some and most. It just depends. Again, just like before. Some sugar is required for taste. You have to use is because sugar you can't count. But if you say some oranges are good, some oranges, because oranges you can count. So when you cannot count, like some water is spoiled. Some water, you cannot count water. So some water is spoiled. Or you could say some vegetables are crunchy. So for some and most, if you could count, then you use plural. If you can't, you use singular. Most of the cookies were eaten. Cookies you can count. So you just have to know those. And let's go to page 101. So listen and repeat. And I'll play you the track.
Page 101. Exercise 2B. 1.
Does he sell clothes?
No, he doesn't. 2.
Does he fix cars?
No, he doesn't. 3.
Does he clean buildings?
No, he doesn't. 4. Does he serve food? No, he doesn't. 5. Does he count money? No, he doesn't. 6. Does he answer the phone? Yes, he does.
So here are the answers for page 101, part B. And practice part 3, communication. Talk with your classmates, play a game, ask and guess. So do that with somebody in your household. Anyone. Now let's turn to page 102. Before you read, talk about the picture. What do you see? What do you see? I see a girl with a ponytail. If you tie in one, call it ponytail. She's looking at a bulletin board or a memo board, looks like. She's holding a cup of coffee or tea. She has a red shirt on. I know it looks like a collared. She has a red collared shirt. She has a red collared shirt with short sleeves. And I'll play you the track.
Page 102, Lesson D. Exercise 2. Employee of the Month, Sarah Lopez. Congratulations, Sarah Lopez, Employee of the Month. Sarah is a salesperson. She sells clothes. Sarah's whole family works here at ShopSmart. Her father is a custodian, and her mother is a receptionist. Her uncle Eduardo is a server. He serves food. Her sister Lucy is a cashier. She counts money. Her brother Leo fixes cars. He's a mechanic. Everybody in the store knows the Lopez family.
Okay, so let's look at this passage. Sarah Lopez. It's a title and it's a name, so you have to capitalize the first letter of each word. And something like this, Employee of the Month, you capitalize the first letter of each word, except like of and the. If it's anything like 3-letter or less word, you don't capitalize it. You only capitalize anything, so like 4 or more. That's why it only capitalized letter E and M, but not O and D. That's the usual rule. And here, always beginning of the first sentence, you have to capitalize. So you start with capital letter C, Employee of the Month. They capitalize E and O because this is kind of like a title. Now, Sarah, it's a proper noun, you have to capitalize. Sarah, it also she. Beginning of the first sentence, capitalize. Sarah, proper noun, you have to capitalize. Here, Shop Mart, again, capitalize because it's the name of the store. It's a proper noun. That's the rule. You have to capitalize it. And always end with a period. Now, beginning of sentence, you capitalize it. Again, period, you capitalize it, her. And Eduardo, it's the name of the person. It's a proper noun. You have to capitalize it. End with a period. Now, you start with a capital. Again, period starts with a capital. Lucy is a proper noun. It's the name of the person. That's why you have to capitalize. Ending of the sentence. Now you start with a capital. It's the beginning of a sentence. Again, capital. Leo is a proper noun. It's the name of a person. Leo is short for Leonard. I think Italians or Europeans, they call it Leonardo. Americans, they call it Leonard. But this is very important. English, you have to capitalize proper nouns and always beginning of the first sentence. Now, after you read, write the job and the job duty. Leo Lopez, job is mechanic. Job duty, he fixes cars. 2. Lucy Lopez, he's a cashier. She counts money, shop smart. 3. Eduardo Lopez, server or waiter, waitress. He serves food. Name, Sarah Lopez. Job, salesperson. Job duty, she sells clothes. So look at it, she. Third person singular. That's why you need S, counts. You have to say she counts, not she count. And we're using it in a present tense. Remember it as a present tense. Anything something like a job description, we usually use it in a present tense. It's something, that's what she's doing every day on a daily basis.